I like that.
Live. I know it helps so much better when we can hear it.
When we can hear it. And
I'm still gonna wire it over there so it's more away from our mics, but
Is that Alexa?
fucking Alexa, man.
I just wow, she
was like, Paul, what time?
what time? That's what she said?
Yeah. I'm gonna look later and it's gonna be like a
I've been
weird-
watching Black Mirror too, so I'm very
Did you see the Miley Cyrus one yet?
That was great. Did you
didn't-
watch it?
No. But
Great.
I can.
You love Miley Cyrus, right?
Yeah, obsessed.
Well, I'm like no opinion on Miley Cyrus. Don't dislike her, don't really like her, just kind of whatever, but
yeah.
I thought her episode was great.
I mean, she has some acting chops. It's Hannah Montana shit, but still.
Oh, she's got some serious acting shots.
She was good.
Those people have. She's great in it. I actually always thought Lindsay Lohan, if she hadn't fucked up her career with partying, would have been one of the greats, like
Dude,
a Meryl Streep level.
That's why I love Miley Cyrus even more, though, because she went deep.
Yeah.
She went fucking deep at one point.
Well, and Miley Cyrus is.
I love people.
I could see her acting more now, but she's like she's a singer, you know.
Yeah.
She's more of an entertainer in that way.
Yeah.
Than a lot of actors and actresses are. But Lindsay Lohan was more of an actress than anything.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
And
Her music, she did music too, but
She tried
that
to
was
do all
the
that
side
shit.
thing more than that.
Yeah, she just pissed away. Like Beauty and the type of
Did you watch her reality show?
yeah, sad.
It was a little sad.
I get sad when they get the voice, like the horse party voice.
Yeah.
Like, I used to, even when I was a bartender, when she's like, "Give me another shot," you know, you're just like,
We got In Hot Water here. Sorry,
"Hey,
Sorry
whoa."
to interrupt.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The In Hot Water dude from Twitter.
Yep. I've never seen that in our chat though.
That's
so
good to
welcome.
have them on. People coming by. So
Welcome.
here's the thing. I wanted to, since we got a fan interaction, I want to ride that because we got a fucking hilarious
Yeah.
quote. Right as I was walking here, I got the email notification that we had a comment on the Noonan show, and I was like, oh, I love that. And I look, and it's from the clip today about the Florida show. There's tons of clips of the show out now, too.
Yeah, do more clips. It's better.
It's really nice to watch the show that way, actually.
Well, I looked at like this. You told me this, and I saw statistics, and it's basically people only watch for like 6 minutes.
Yeah, but makes sense, you know.
It 100% makes sense. And then
I
thought
don't watch many hour-long things. I watch 44-minute things, 45-minute things, but I also
like-
have YouTube on in the background a lot while I
Yeah,
clean,
exactly.
so.
So and it's mostly just like little clips. It's a better medium. Andrew, not to bring up Schultz again. It's like
Yeah,
the
I know, he's
10th
like
week in a row.
Producer, the secret producer of this show.
But if you listen to him on Rogan, he tells you how YouTube works. He
Yeah.
literally breaks it down. And like that's what he did with his special. He broke it down into clips. He
Yeah.
released it like that.
Yeah,
It's
he
a-
told me about
It's
that
a brilliant fucking way
ahead
to
of
do it.
time, and I was like, man, you know what you're talking about. He's such a smart dude. But so anyway, we get this literally walking here from buying the scratch ticket.
Yeah.
Bing! I'm like, oh, I wonder what this is. I'll open it up, and it's a comment from Sam Squanch, and it's, I think, not an asshole comment. He writes, "Why y'all cross your legs like that?" Just
We both
and
do
when we
do
started
that.
the show, we both had it going. Why y'all cross your legs like that? Just curious if it's good for the legs or something. And I appreciate that. Just curious if it's good.
I
for
know
the,
why.
Because that,
You go first.
I was gonna say this is a good
I'll tell
topic.
you why too.
But he had to write there's this new thing we do in the internet where we really double down on niceness when we're trying to just be honest.
Yeah,
When
I
we're
agree.
trying to just ask a question, you got to really be like,
Yeah.
just so you know, this isn't a sarcastic prank. I'm not trying
It's
to be
like
a
being
prick.
from Southie because you have to be extra, not racist.
to just be
Yeah.
to be a
Yeah.
normal person.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've noticed that on comments on Reddit too. People really double down on when they disagree with someone, they'll really pad it with, I totally respect you.
Yeah.
I'm saying your opinion is
I love you at
valid.
this, and this moment.
You made all these valid
Been
points.
here the whole time,
but
bro.
I must disagree on what it's very. So I saw that and I was like, all right, this guy's trying. The just curious is just a little bit of grammatical seasoning to make this not taste salty.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's like no offense, but
Yeah. Well, I did it when I tweeted at Lou Merloni. I always
yeah,
do
you
that.
do that. Yeah,
I'm always like, this is not.
yeah,
Because all people do is tweet those guys all day like, you fucking suck, right?
yeah. You fucking midget.
So I laughed because I do sit that way often.
And I do too.
You do too, and my dad does. And I've been asked about it over the years. In Europe, obviously, everyone does. It's not a question. Yeah. I think. All right. Do you want to? You go first. I think you should go first.
Okay. So, does your dad wear underwear? Because I think it's an underwear thing. Because one thing,
my dad wears briefs. He's like one of the last men on the planet to wear white briefs.
So that fucks my whole fucking thing up. But I thought it was like a not.
Actually, I take that back though. A couple years ago, he switched to boxer briefs.
I think it's a not underwear thing.
That's interesting. See, that was not my answer.
Okay, go.
My answer was it's a height thing. It's a height.
We're the same height.
The same, like almost
just
the same
over
build.
6 feet, right?
We're both just over 6 feet. We're both long arms, long legs.
Weird long arms. I can almost touch my knees without bending too much.
Yeah, when you see, I went to a lot of basketball camps as a kid, and all the old coaches would always sit and watch with their legs crossed that. Yeah. And I would always think, yeah, I mean, they have those long legs, you know? So it kind of does. Like Bill Russell sits like that, I notice a lot when he watches games.
And you know Bill Russell has a big dick.
Yeah. It might be a ball thing. For me, it's just kind of always been a comfortable way. I do sometimes have to like...
You have to just
pull your balls up.
You have to pick a side.
Yeah.
Well, because it's a non-underwear thing. We're back to that, though. I think it's something to do with not wearing underwear constantly.
Yeah, but I've been on underwear lately.
Oh, you have?
Because
so that fucks my whole theory up, too. I have not. I don't mess around with that stuff.
I go commando a ton, and most of the summer I do.
Oh, all the summer.
But it has been a little chilly lately.
For the winter, I might wear like almost like workout tights under pants. So it's kind of like underwear.
Oh, I do that all the time.
Yeah, I do that in the winter.
The running tights I wear.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what they
Compression.
are. Yeah.
Danny Picard, I saw him running and I gave him shit. I texted him because he had like compression pants on under his shorts. Great, but I was like, dude, it's warm enough to just wear shorts now. I was like,
but you don't know sometimes when you wake up in the morning. You don't like they tell you weird things on the news. You're like, is it cold? Is it not? You don't.
And he was keeping up a good. I was just trying to bust his balls. Yeah. And he goes, he was like,
just saying.
He goes, they do wonders for the balls. And
no, they don't. They're terrible.
No, I do think they're good for the balls.
Oh, presentation maybe.
No, for keeping them from when you're running though, and your balls shake up. That can cause a little bit of
maybe.
I've gotten.
You don't run that hard.
I've run. Yeah, I've gotten almost like ball sensitivity after a long run with no. One time I went on a long
just like
run.
Gravity fucking with those.
Yeah, and just the bounce. Bounce.
The entrails attached to the balls. I don't know how balls work.
It's that stuff that the ball that.
Have you ever realized that men have no idea how their like privates really work? It's like
women don't either. I've heard
fucking women.
I've heard
know everything.
Several stand-up bits about women who,
they know every name of everything.
Yeah, they know that, but I've heard several stand-up bits about how women never see their vaginas. Like they don't know what it looks like.
That's weird.
They never look at it.
Never squat over a mirror.
Never squat over. Yeah. Whereas a dude is extremely familiar with his dick.
I haven't a lot squatted over a mirror, but I have.
Yeah, I remember. Well, TMI. I think when I was like in junior high or high school, I that was the only time I ever really did the mirror thing. Checked my body out in a mirror.
It wasn't really that. It was more of like a shaving thing for me. 'Cause I'm such like a hairy monster. So I needed angles for. It wasn't like a exploration thing. It was a.
I did it fully.
It was a maintenance thing.
This is so gross. I completely forgot about it. You know, you really should just be. There should be an island for puberty. You should be sent away from everyone else.
I didn't have too many gross things, man.
I was
pretty
weird.
normal.
I was weird during puberty, and sometimes when I'm at a family event or a thing where there's a lot of people, you see that one like 13, 14-year-old boy, and you're
yeah.
You just know like it's nothing but fucking
debauchery,
filth in that kid. He's just like, when can I go home so I can jerk off 9 more times?
Something terrible. I'm that kid from Toy Story.
Yeah, that fat nun has nice tits. You're just a disgusting individual.
Look at that fat dude on the grill.
And it sucks too because you go from like being like this cute kid who plays Pee-wee baseball.
Yeah.
And you're like, Dad, nah. And then one day
Is that
you're
how
just,
you remember it though? Because I don't.
that's not how I remember it, but that's how I see it now when
Yeah,
I see
yeah.
my nephews and stuff and when cousins
No,
and
especially your
everything.
nephews. Like he's just like a great kid who loves Fortnite, as far as I
Yeah,
know.
right. No, he is. He's
That's all I know
such a
about
good
him.
kid. And
But in like a couple of years, that kid's gonna be trying to like finger bang chicks.
like my sister has his. It's so true though. It's horrible to think about.
But you also you want him to.
Yeah, and and you don't look at it when you look at it through your own experience. You don't see it that way. You know, you just.
Well, people do the other thing when they're like, my parents banging is gross. I'm like, when I'm old, I hope I'm fucking still doing, like, I hope my dick still works. So I'm like,
yeah, I understand that it's gross to think about, but yeah, it's not gross that it happens.
No.
I don't want to see it
you
either.
don't want to think, it's like people are bad, but the person is good. Like, you don't want to think about the person in that sense. But like when you want to think about like the whole, you hope that.
I actually think that's one of the big hurdles for being a gay teenager and coming out of the closet, because you're not saying, when someone comes out of the closet, especially a dude, it's not like just saying I'm gay and I love men.
Yeah,
it's like what your immediate thought is sexual.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It
So
sucks.
I remember thinking that when my brother came out, it was that was the tough, sort of unsaid part of it, is that everyone's thinking about your sex life, which is kind of gross. No one else has to have
Yeah.
everyone thinking about their sex life.
You're right. That's bullshit too.
You know?
That sucks.
I remember thinking that. I remember being like, oh, that's sort of, you never think about that, but that's sort of an awkward.
What is that attached to? Is that like a morality, Puritan morality bullshit that we're all still?
I don't even think, even if you approve, disapprove, whatever,
Yeah.
you still think about it.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, what does it come in? Like, we're all like programmed to think this is negative for some reason.
Oh, I wonder about that. Probably something to do with pack mentality of the majority of the pack. I mean, who fucking knows, right? But
I think it's religion.
fear of the unknown is probably the number one
that's a good point. That's
root
probably
of
the best
most
point.
things.
That's the best point.
I remember.
That sucks. We need to get
It's a
beyond
quick-
that. We need to get beyond that. It's not quick for everyone. You
yeah,
have a
it's
good
not-
family, so it's,
Yeah, we do have a nice, kind-hearted.
It's not good for everyone.
kind-hearted family. It's not quick for everyone like that, but I do think everyone sort of has these things in their life. You have like these big moments. Everyone has a big moment. You never know when
Yeah.
it's gonna come. You know. I think my big moment was quitting drinking and like hitting
That
that.
was your biggest.
Well, I just think for my life, it was
Yeah,
a big. I've had a. I think
You've had a bunch since
I think
then.
that was. I hope. I remember I got this fortune cookie one time.
That's a start thing.
I got a fortune cookie that said that the toughest part of your life has already happened. And
You're
then
like, fuck yes.
I remember thinking like that could actually be true, you know,
100% could be true.
because that was really tough and it was a big sort of it was. I always think about alternate realities. There's an alternate reality that came off of. There's several that probably came off of that one, and I might be in the one. Like
You're the one.
end game.
Jet Li, motherfucker.
I'm the lucky one.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't a lot of good ways for that to go.
No, yeah.
I think my brother, for him, that was probably a big moment for him, like in his life. You know, not. He's
just
had
the opposite.
He's a gigantic success.
Yeah,
He's done all
exactly.
these
He's so
things.
smart. He's
but
so-
his personally, that's big. That's
He had
big.
to have this shadow for literally no reason.
For no reason. But and also, I think he was surprised at how. I think he thought it was gonna be worse. Like
Yeah.
So it was kind of.
Well, imagine that. Imagine like the biggest. It's a defining. It's not everything about you, but it's a defining part of you, and you have to the people you love more than anything. You have to say, "This is me."
Yeah.
You thought I was this, and now I'm this.
And now it's
That's
more.
it's fucking
yeah, and I
crazy.
think it's easier. Every year it gets easier for people to do stuff like that.
100%.
And I think it's there's so many levels to that you can't understand unless you've gone through it. But there's so many levels to that of how do you feel about it yourself even. A lot of
And you're not completely
a lot of-
sold on all the points either.
yeah, and you have to sort of really be sure, I think, if you want to. So it's this tough
crazy.
thing. But I think luckily now the world is a better place where it's kind of like
Do you think that? Because I think that too.
it used to be if you told your parents if your parents in the 1950s found out you were gay,
1951,
it's like it's a big deal. You could get in big trouble.
You could go to jail.
You go to jail.
You could literally go to jail.
Everyone's gonna. You could be beaten to death,
killed. Your parents have to move out of town.
Well, it's that whole thing of if people find out, they could kill you.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine that, you know? So then...
But it was literally illegal in some places.
In New York City, even.
Crazy.
And then you have the 1980s where there's the AIDS stuff where it became... Just as gay people are starting to be accepted by society...
Now they have this
the AIDS scare comes out. They have a
blight.
And people are now going... So now if your son says he's gay, you're like, oh my God, what if he gets AIDS?
Yeah.
So you're not even...
Yeah.
You're over the whole biblical aspect and that stupid shit.
Now you're worried about like the worst disease.
Now you're like, oh God,
in your head.
he's gay. That means he's going to die slow and painfully. So then you have that aspect of it. Finally, now I think it's more, you know, or your kids saying, I'll never be able to get married, never be able to have a real family. I'll never be able to. All these things are taken away.
Or people are still attached to the church. They're saying, I'm never
huge. That's still the thing.
Yeah,
in a lot of parts of the country, I think
it's definitely true.
Oh, a lot of parts of the world. Imagine.
I hope more and more of that's being eroded away. And I'm not anti-religion at all, but
I'm not anti-religion at all either. I'm completely pro-religion. But
I'm more and more pro as I get older, which is weird.
No, that's not weird at all.
I think it's weird because I've never felt like this before.
That's just the wiser you get, you realize. I mean.
Structure makes sense. That's like what I boiled it down to. Structure does make sense. None of us know what's going on.
Yeah.
So like it's fine to have a structure for you to worship whatever through.
Yeah, there's
I don't take it super
things that are so
but
religious that aren't churches, you know, sports.
Yeah.
Fandom. I mean, we're religious about a lot of things that we don't give credit to, like in the same way we give the church and all that stuff. But I don't know how we got to that.
I don't either.
I don't know. It's what was the ultimate thing before that? Crossing our legs.
Yeah. Yeah. We both sometimes Will wears underwear, most of the time I don't.
Yeah.
July was my point.
July and August I really don't. I don't know. I feel like we left something on the table there, but
yeah.
It was
sorry. That was my fault.
They're good people. Well, we did smoke weed. I think we kind of like hit them. We took a weed. Sometimes weed gives you like mental commercial breaks.
Yeah, it can be good though. It could have been great. Well, it could have been great. We don't know.
Oh no.
Okay, there we go.
So it was about coming out of the closet. And different eras.
Right back.
So right now, kids come out of the closet for all kinds of things that aren't just being gay.
Yeah,
which I think is good and bad. Because I think just wait it out. You know, wait till you're 18, 19 years old before you start really tattooing yourself.
That's so true.
With labels.
It's a great way of saying it too. Tattooing yourself with labels.
You know?
That's a perfect way to say it.
Because that's kind of what it is, you know? And I think you're just fucking yourself up. I went through a lot of phases. Non-sexual.
But imagine if you were stuck at any of those phases. Like you wanted...
I don't even want to be...
Like
it's all part of me, you know? I think about that sometimes. One time I did this thing. I think about this all the time, dude. I did this when I was in high school. I was in punk bands, and I also would play acoustic sometimes. Just shooting the shit, waiting for punk band practice to start or whatever.
Yeah.
And then one time I kind of got it into my head that I was gonna go play acoustic at this coffee house, and I went, and I thought it was gonna be no big deal, and there was like tons of people there, and my girlfriend from like my ex-girlfriend from high school that I'd broken up with was there with like her sister and all their friends, and there was like all these cute chicks there. And now I'm kind of like, fuck. I was still pretty unbelievably confident back then.
How old do you think you were?
I was 16, 17.
Okay. So
real young, you know?
Yeah. Right at that point though, where you're dumb enough to do something like that.
Yeah, and I think I'd been in a couple plays at this high school plays at this point.
Okay, so
I wasn't like a total fucking
noob,
noob, but it was just, I wasn't a musician by any means, you know, so I'm just going, whatever, but I'm kind of going with the flow. Back then I used to kind of just be like, it'll work out.
Yeah.
And then I remember I was with my buddy that I was in a band with. We were going to play together.
Yeah.
And we didn't like tune before or practice really that much or anything. We just were like, we'll just do what we do in our punk band up there in front. Anyway, so we go up there and immediately within seconds, it's like our guitars aren't in tune with each other.
And it sounds crazy.
So we're playing and we're doing that thing that is death to music where it's like you're playing, but you're not even really committing to it because you're about to stop at any second to just fix the tuning. But you're still just playing, trying to, like, I don't know, like maybe God will step in.
Yeah.
But we're looking at each other and then he's like, hold on, let me tune. And then he's tuning and it's awkward. And I go, fuck, right? And then it's like, because I said fuck in like this coffee shop at 3 p.m. and there's children and everything. And
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, sorry. So then we start playing these songs, and it's just like not.
You're done at this point.
We're not playing well. Now we're nervous and awkward. I start singing, and it's very clear that it's just not appropriate for this setting. I'm trying to sing loud, and I'm like, I can't sing loud in here. It's 3 o'clock. We're in a coffee shop. Then I'm trying to sing quiet, and then I'm like, I don't know how to sing quiet, and I'm just trying to work it out in real time. It was a grade A disaster.
Is that the first time you bombed? It might be, right?
Might be. Definitely just a wire to wire shit show.
Yeah.
And I'm going and I'm looking out and all my friends in the crowd were like, I had a big group of friends, you know?
Yeah.
They're all like, and my one buddy, John Morin, I'm still buddies with him. He lives in San Francisco now. He was from BC High and not part of like my Milton friend group. He was part of like my punk rock friend group. And he was fucking grinning. He was like the one guy who was like, who got that this was really funny.
Soaking it in.
And just soaking it in. Yeah, I remember him saying to me after, like, dude, that was so fucking bad. Like, that was so bad and brutal. Like, he couldn't stop laughing, you know, how bad it was. And I remember I remember, I'll give myself credit. I didn't bitch. I didn't moan. I didn't cry about it, but I remember kind of being, wow, that was, let's just get out of here, guys. Like, let's just flee the scene, you know?
Yeah.
But I think about that night a lot because that performance a lot still to this day. I think about it a lot and I go, man, I think that was really necessary. That was a really big day in my life.
You were the best before that, and then you got a little bit humbled.
Oh, I got real humbled, and I've been humbled a trillion times since then.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even become a stand-up for another 10 years probably after that, or almost 10 years.
Yeah.
I did a lot of acting in between and stuff, but it wasn't even just applying to show business. It was just everyone, I think, it built me up so much to be embarrassed like that and then leave that town behind. You know, you have to leave things behind you and go, you know what? Yeah, I fucking embarrassed myself in front of all those girls. Yeah. And but you know what? At least I did it. At least I went up there and played guitar and I had balls. You know what? The next play, I'm going to be fucking funny and everyone will forget about this shit.
Yeah.
And they did. And a couple of people brought it up over the years and laughed about it. It's still funny. But it's funny. And, but it was definitely, I still, good nights, bad nights, I'll catch myself driving down and thinking about that and laughing and thinking about the way I felt. I remember looking down at my hands, like being like, you fucking betrayed me.
Yeah. It's everybody's fault but mine. I'm even blaming body parts.
You suck.
But don't you think like that's a problem with a lot of people? They never have that. That's like the incel bullshit. A lot of it.
It is.
A lot of it results from that.
It sounds like
it's
old
fine
man,
to fail. It's fine to fail. Like
glorious to fail.
It's a cliche at this point, but like you learn more from a failure than any success.
And to learn how
like
to
you really do.
I think I kind of learned from, and that was by far not the only night like that I ever had in my life.
Yeah, definitely not.
But I think eventually you see it with comics who work hard is that eventually you become very comfortable with that.
Almost like it.
Yeah, once you that's when you start winning this game. Yeah. When you start to kind of like you can just sit in that and go.
Well, I don't even know if it's a comic thing because I've learned that like I can sit in that uncomfortable space and it almost feels.
Yeah. Time for Zozo.
It almost feels like it's like it's like Superman with the sun, and it's like filling me with energy.
It is. It is like there's nothing more. It fills me with energy when I watch a comedian. Like it just makes me smile. It makes me smile so hard my cheeks hurt.
Yeah.
Like especially a good comic, you know. When it's some new guy who stinks, I kind of feel bad for him. But when it's some new guy who's some older, like,
seasoned.
Yeah. It's just like.
It is amazing.
But I do think just in life to be very cool with those guys who can go up to girls and get shot down, those guys who fuck a lot of girls.
100%. It's a numbers game.
But I think that's a very good skill to have in life.
It definitely is.
To be able to eat shit a little bit and laugh at yourself and just not let it ruin your whole life. There's a lot of things that I can really kind of obsess over and freak out about.
Yeah.
Being embarrassed is not one of them anymore. Hasn't been one of mine for many, many, many years.
So long that I don't even remember that person who was embarrassed. That's how it feels like to me. Do you have that? Like the way my memory works, I've almost been like 5 people.
Oh,
I was
absolutely.
like a child. You know what I mean? Like there's
someone else said it to me one
goal
time,
points.
and I always thought it was true. They said in your 20s, you're almost a different person every year.
Yeah, it speeds up a lot then. That's a good point. I had like 3 of those in my 20s.
Yeah, I think so too. I remember being.
That's a good
point. The years are long and they feel like you're a different dude.
Now they feel
21 and
fast.
24 are like totally different guys.
Oh, way different, yeah.
And then
24 to like
26.
27.
Yeah, 26, 27.
Yeah.
26, 27 is where a lot of people either...
You kind of have to make your decision at 26, 27.
Yeah, that's a big one where you kind of either fuck off for a while or start growing up.
I wish I did my 20s differently, to be honest, though. I feel like I half-assed both things. I wish I either partied more or worked more. I feel like I was right down the middle. I was right down the middle.
I partied a lot.
I wish I picked one or the other, and I think I would have been fine either way, honestly.
I partied hard into 26, and then at 26, I quit drinking.
Yeah.
And started focusing on stand-up. So I guess I'm pretty happy with it. I remember I used to say all the time back then, I used to say, my 30s will be when I get it together. My 30s will be when
You've been killing me in your 30s, so you weren't wrong.
I guess I was right. So if you're out there and you're drinking your face off morning, noon, and night.
Yeah, maybe quit now, maybe wait a couple of years. I don't know.
I do always sort of...
You might not be on the same timeline.
I planned this dental work for like a year.
You did. That's what we talked about.
That's what I keep telling people I was telling Paul, people think I'm rich because I'm in a couple local TV commercials. I'm not. But one thing I did do was immediately get to work.
Yeah.
As soon as I had a little bit of cheese.
Smart though.
I heard that's the first thing a lot of guys ask for when they get in prison.
Do you want to do any weird things like I'm not saying now, like you say you get another bump in cash, like blood platelets, like weird shit like that.
Stuff?
Yeah.
I've always sort of believed in the hyperbaric chamber, the sleeping and the.
I know someone who has one. They're not that expensive. You can get one.
I've always sort of thought there's got to be something to that. Or I always thought there was something to breathing. Like I would love to breathe pure oxygen for a little while.
I have those. I have cans of pure oxygen.
What?
I have that. Yeah.
Why?
For exactly the reason you're talking about.
Really?
Yeah,
just to like kind of...
Yeah, you can buy that shit.
I knew a guy who was an EMT. He used to say when he had really bad hangovers, he would just breathe some oxygen.
I think it works like when you're smoking weed because it feels like it like vacillates you. It opens everything up and it feels like you're just soaking things in.
That is interesting. Can't you also get sick though from pure oxygen or something?
Yeah, I don't think it's great for you because your body's made to breathe air, not oxygen. So it's
I have a cousin who has an oxygen tank and still smokes butts. And I think, isn't that just physically dangerous to have a flame
like
near
explosive,
the tank?
you're saying?
Right?
Yeah.
I'm been looking at this headline to the side. I really need to know what's going on with this.
It's pretty awesome. It says we're alien UFOs spotted in Braintree. I've been trying to look for like local paranormal stuff because I want to find like one that me and you can go to.
Well, we should talk to the guys from Monster, Maddie Blake and I already took it. It's Maddie Blake and Ron. What the fuck is his name? He's a great dude. I've met him a couple times, but they do a paranormal. Maddie Blake is the host of what you call it? I'm such a good friend. I'm like blanking on everything right now. He's a show on the History Channel. He's like the host.
Yeah.
Not drilling. I keep wanting to say drilling down. It's an island.
It's the one when they were looking for that.
They're looking for bones on the island.
Yeah.
Skull Island.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's Curse of Skull Island or something like that, right?
Oak Island.
Oak Island.
Curse of Oak Island. Jesus, we're terrible.
We got to that though. We got to it.
And Ronnie LeBlanc.
I feel like we're great.
Monsterland is Monty.
There you go. Yeah.
Ronnie LeBlanc. He did the book Monsterland, which is about paranormal stuff in Massachusetts.
I didn't know that.
And they're all into the paranormal stuff, and sometimes I just go real wishy-washy with that myself.
I want to I feel like I haven't done enough hands-on research. I'm kind of like Doubting Thomas. I need to stick my hands in the holes. Like I really want
Doubting Thomas?
Yeah.
You gotta get it. That's a new segment. New segment on the show, Doubting Thomas.
But I feel like that. I feel like that though, because I want to believe so bad, and I used to believe. And most of the reason I don't believe now, dude, is a little bit of laziness on my part for not doing the work.
There's cameras out there too, though. There's those wilderness cams,
but not as many. Not as many.
They get interesting shit all the time, though.
Basically, what this was is people saw a lot of lights over the Four River Bridge, and it turns out it's probably something to do with the bridge.
Shocking.
Is kind of what it says. But people saw her from like a good distance too. The Fall River Bridge, I think, is in Quincy. Oh, okay. No, sorry.
Weymouth on that.
Yeah,
there's that
exactly.
huge. There's a big drawbridge and a big.
But people saw
shipping.
the same glow in Quincy, so there's a lot of like refraction or something going on for this to appear at so many different places.
Yeah, there's some military out there too, in
Do you ever think it's like the Chinese or something like that too? They have like a technology.
I always think it's just us. It's some fucking Kennedy needed a quick like zip zap from one part of the country to the other, and instead of
you think that we have like crazy technology?
Yeah, and they just don't. Don't let us regular people know about it. You know, that's what I always think.
They should have gave it to JFK Jr. though. That dude fucking.
Yeah. Most of it's probably. I always think it's probably presidential, business, getting the president around, getting other important people around.
I never even thought that. I hope it's that. That's kind of badass. Does that prove it's like approved technology? I was thinking it was more of like an experimental thing.
I was thinking the other day, you watch a documentary.
I think it's the Chinese, really.
If you watch a documentary of any time in history, there's always so much hidden shit.
I know.
And they're like, now like we developed this bomb for 30 years.
Yeah.
So what the fuck are they not telling us now? They're not open.
I just watched this cool thing. It was Russian tech, and they had eavesdropping device in a wall that was powered.
I love stuff. That's what I'm into right now.
It was powered. Me too. It was powered by the sway of the building.
Oh, that is cool.
That's a badass one.
That is a badass one.
Yeah.
This is powered by the sway. It uses the Earth's gravity.
For real, like the wind just oscillating the building just enough. It's like how those watches work. The watches that wind themselves. It's kind of like that.
I love stuff
but
like
a whole nother level.
I once asked a friend of mine who's an engineer about a gym. I was like, could you make a gym that's powered by the treadmills and the bikes in the gym? And he was like, no.
Oh, the floor tiles?
Yeah, he's like, you can't generate
slight
enough.
movements of the floor tiles?
Right now, they can't make it so that generates enough power, but
it'd be something.
Perhaps one day.
If you could just make it not a loss.
A what?
If you could make it not a loss, like a negative, like a net negative, it'd be amazing. Even if it was like plus 2%. Do you know what I mean?
Or something, right? Even if it just powered that bike or that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I thought, have I
It'd be cool if you could be like, right now you're powering a hut in
exactly.
New Guinea.
Yeah. Have I ever told you I thought I solved all of energy before with the ocean waves? I was like, you just need a bunch of almost like floating pool.
They have
things.
that.
I know it's like a thing now, but like I was talking like this like 15 years ago. And I was like you just need actuators.
I've seen those.
I don't know how it works, but
They go like that.
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen those. Yeah.
That happened to me with the jacuzzi suit too. I thought I invented that, and that was a real thing. It's like just a suit that you wear. That's a jacuzzi.
That's a jacuzzi. That is a great idea.
I looked it up. It was on The Simpsons, which is probably where I stole it from, and it's like a legitimate product.
Yeah. That's a big fear of mine with writing stand-up jokes. I always am like,
well, how do you know? There's
You
no
don't really
database.
you don't really know, and there's been some famous cases of.
Just parallel thinking.
Yeah, well, there's also been some famous cases of comics right now who are in their 30s, 20s, and 30s doing jokes on their specials.
Oh wow!
That comics
It's like Richard Pryor.
that comics did in the 90s and 80s, and people are just like, this is. They obviously heard this as a kid, thought and then grew up and rewrote it.
So
Because there's just enough data out
do you think
there.
it's active though, like an active process in their brain, or it literally is a
honest
seed
to
planted?
God, in some of the cases I've heard, I'm like, that person probably does not steal jokes.
I know.
So it just happens.
So is it even stealing at that point?
No, it's
it gets
not.
weird, right?
It gets weird, but
Like how music works.
it was back in the day. You couldn't like just pull up fucking,
Yeah.
an old comedian's act like at a snap of a finger and look at it.
Yeah.
You just were like, did I hear that joke before? I guess not.
I mean, if like the cadence is the same.
Was one, yeah. But it's just the idea. What jokes can sometimes an entire joke can sometimes hinge on one sort of pivot move in the middle. And if that pivot move is the same, you know.
Yeah. So you would know. You would
It's
know
like-
more than.
Yeah, it's just certain jokes. It's about,
like
a premise anyone can take.
My-
Country music is sometimes bad is a premise anyone can use, right?
Yeah.
But then some country music is sometimes country music is so bad. I heard this one song, Take a Drunk Girl Home. Now it's getting like a little more specific.
Yeah.
To a joke I do. There's someone to take a drunk girl home. They're called Other Drunk Girls. All right, now that's like that's my bit now.
Yeah. At that point, it's yours.
At that point, you've at least made
you boiled it down enough
that
it's yours.
that's your idea.
Okay, I agree with that. Yeah.
But even that is a little bit, if someone else was doing that, I'd be like, well, they could have found that same thing. That's why I try to, this is a rare thing where I'm doing a bit about like a thing, like a public pop culture thing, because that always ends up happening. If you do bits about the news and pop culture, people are always like, you stole or I stole. It's like, dude, we're all just
no one really owns
trying to crack the same puzzle here.
Yeah.
And we're both unoriginal, unfortunately.
Or not unoriginal, but just
That stuff's just cheap candy comedy. I always think Weekend Update is so fun to watch, and it's so funny because it's just like little M&Ms of comedy.
Yeah.
It's
fast food.
Going to watch, John Mulaney for an hour is like a meal, an entree of comedy.
Yeah.
Both are good, but everyone loves a snack, Everyone
Yeah.
loves a sugary snack.
And one's better suited for TV too.
Oh, yeah.
The pop things.
Everything has its place. That's kind of the thing
That's
sort of been on lately.
That's an old man Noonan thing. That's more of a wise take. That
Yeah.
everything does have its place.
Everything has its place, and the older I get, I scoff at things like, even Owen Benjamin, who I don't agree with all the time. One of the things he does that I do agree with is he does whatever fuck he wants. Like
Whatever he wants.
if he wants to play
I love Owen Benjamin.
piano and sing, he does it. If he wants
By
to
the
talk,
fire.
if
He'll
he
bring
wants-
his piano outside and play by the fire if he wants.
If he wants to eat, and talk to somebody, if he wants to go on other people, he just does whatever he wants.
He's literally carved out
Whatever
his
he
own thing.
but it's not that's not the reason. He's not doing whatever the fuck he wants to say. I do whatever the fuck I want. He just steps where his creativity takes him in that direction. You know, that's the thing.
Which is brilliant too. So few people do that now because it's hard to.
Well, I think the younger version of myself would say to him, "Oh, just fucking tell jokes, Owen."
Yeah.
You know, just tell jokes, man. And I don't think that way anymore.
Well, you got me into him originally because I was not sleeping well, and I was like, Owen, no, sorry, I was Will. That's your name. I was saying, I need like a West Coast follows on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
That's what I asked.
And that was
you were like, he just moved to New York, but here's Owen Benjamin.
Yeah,
that's how I was introduced to Owen Benjamin.
No, I worked with him a couple of times. I fucking he was a hilarious.
I love him. I love him so much.
A regular guy. He's just a kind of guy who talks to everyone the same
way.
And obviously highly intelligent guy.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him in a long time, though. I always think...
He moved again. He's not in upstate New York.
Whenever he says, like, some of the blue check marks don't talk to me anymore, I'm always like...
It's you.
With him, I had to be like I was. The only guy I don't mute who's political is Cumia because I just really like Cumia.
Yeah,
and he's
Owen Benjamin's not on Twitter anymore anyway.
all that stuff.
They banned him.
I unfollowed and blocked hundreds of people during the elections and stuff because I just couldn't take it anymore.
Made it easy. I do that for local elections too.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm all tied up into
Yeah, you are.
all that.
No comment. Look at this thing, though. This is kind of scary and cool at the same time. It's a fungus was weaponized with the spider toxin to kill malaria mosquitoes. Essentially, like gene editing, they added spider toxin to a fungus to just really fuck mosquitoes up.
Wow.
It's scary, though, right?
That is scary. Malaria is so scary. Ticks are scary, I think, because if you're an outdoorsy type, you're gonna get like a lot of tick bites, and there's always just that.
And where we are have
million.
really fucked up shit. It's not 1 in a million around here, buddy. It's not. It's not.
Well, it's 1 in a million. You could get meningitis and like fucking be.
There's weird shit now though. Have you seen the meat allergy one?
No.
Okay, let's type that in.
But I do think that's always scary. The whole like you could just get that one bad tick, that one hot tick.
Because they don't just have one thing. They don't just have Lyme disease. They have 70 different horrible things from the prehistoric.
And whatever they were on before too. Like
yeah, exactly. Okay, so it's
deer.
called alpha-gal syndrome.
I've met a few broads with this, let me tell you.
Okay.
Alpha-gal syndrome. She walks in and thinks she owns the place.
Listen to how scary this is, though. You get bit by a tick. You go through like the normal thing. It swells. You get a circle red thing on your leg. Then now you're allergic to red meat.
Oh, Jesus.
You can't eat red meat anymore. I'm not even a big red meat person, but just the fact that like this thing bit you and now you can't eat red meat. That's scary, man. That's scary.
It makes me itchy all over my whole body.
That's not good.
Yeah, fucking. My doctor laughed in my face when I told him I was afraid of getting Lyme disease.
Well, he should. Fuck him.
He
dude.
like laughed at me.
Well, he's wrong.
I was like,
he's wrong. So.
I came in. He was like, so you want to get tested for Lyme disease? Known hypochondriac Will Noonan. I was like, yes. And he was like, why?
You hike a lot.
I go, dude, I go hiking all the time, and everyone I meet tells me they got Lyme disease, and one whole family got it. He's like, you don't have Lyme disease, but we'll do it. He just laughed. He's like, you don't have Lyme disease.
I mean, you probably don't. It probably is. Most of the people I know who got it in like Vermont.
Well, a lot of times what can happen is you get a tick on you and you don't realize it, and it's on you for days.
Yeah. But how do you not realize?
No, that happens to people though. Especially women with thick hair.
I think it's like fat people.
Fat people. Or like people who are maybe older or not in the best.
Oh, that's fine. I get that.
Best of shape.
Yeah. But I know if something's fucking on my body, man, I know.
I've had them on my balls before. My dad had one on his dick.
Wow. I've never had a tick.
Oh, I've had so many. I can't even tell you how many hundreds. over the years.
I'm not going to the Blue Hills anymore.
I used to, I actually got into like this time of year is the worst time for him. I got into the habit of tucking my pants into my socks like this when I would go hiking, because that's the thing.
What eats them?
You go
Bats?
hiking and they just hop on your shoe or something. They don't even jump.
Yeah,
right
you carry them home.
and then they crawl slowly, and where they want to be is like on right between your balls and your thigh.
They want warmth, right?
They want the damp warmth. So a lot of times you'll go on a hike and you'll go home and you'll find them on your ball sack.
You should hike naked.
I just read a thing online, a tweet. A guy was like, I was in a job interview. I went for a hike before my job interview to relax, and I'm sitting in the interview and I could feel a tick walking across my dick.
And then what's your choice at that point?
Gotta just
you go to
sit
the
there.
bathroom probably, right?
I remember I had my dogs having some big ones, like, because you won't catch them. You won't always find them on the dog right away.
Yeah.
You know? And then,
you know what? These cities aren't so bad. So turkeys might eat ticks.
All kinds of things eat ticks.
We need to get more of whatever's out there.
You know what's really disgusting is I've seen deer with just
covered. I know, like a wife beater amount of ticks.
Yeah, it looks like it's their coloring, and you're just like,
you're like, why are they moving slightly?
Yeah, it's bad news. But I do think, Paul,
will be fine.
I feel like there's a fair amount of fear mongering going on with ticks.
I don't. The
Because
numbers
they
are
want
crazy, bro.
They want people to be cautious as they should be, and they want people to. I think the biggest thing with ticks is, when you get home from doing a tick, like you go to the beach, you can get them at the beach too.
I know.
But if you get home from something where there's ticks, just take a fucking shower. Like, rub your hands over yourself.
Like, know your body. What are you people doing? Like,
yeah. But they could even, David Letterman, I remember.
He seems gross, though.
He had one on his back, in the middle of his back, that had been on him for 3 days. And he talked about it on the show. I just remember how, big it was. I just remember him telling the story.
Yeah.
He does seem a little on the gross side.
Yeah. His gross beard.
Is this a Just Shave It Bro? Looks kind of like Peter Martin.
It's not a Just Shave It Bro, but it could be. It's like a pre-Just Shave It Bro, but it's a Florida man accidentally shoots and kills a woman during sex act.
Well, that's going to be...
She died doing what she loves.
a tough... without video...
Yeah.
I think that's a tough...
What do you think he was doing? It kind of seemed like he was banging from behind and was like, put the gun to her head. Like,
it's in her chest.
Does it say that? I didn't even read the whole thing. Upper body.
Oh, imagine what a dumb way to fucking ruin your life at 23.
I know.
That's ultimately... That's gunplay, you know? That's
gunplay.
Do you remember on The Sopranos? She used to like to she'd fuck Ralphie with a dildo, butt fuck him, and put the gun to his head. That's what he likes.
Yeah.
And she eventually just shot him that way.
You just set yourself up. I said the same thing.
I was hoping we were going to do this.
Yeah. Oh, you saw this already?
Yeah, it's not.
I said the same thing before though about that. Like you like I'd be the easiest person to poison because Sharon leaves drinks like just water around and I just drink it. Like I constantly just drink things like that around. It's like the same thing.
It's funny. I hate it. Even like one of my best friends gives me a glass of water from like at the bars.
Yeah.
Like if they just come from some other room and they're like, "Here, I got you water." I'm always like, "I do, but I have to like swallow fear."
I don't have any of that.
I just go like, "Don't be a psycho. We'll drink this." That's what I say to myself.
Yeah, this is amazing. It's a 74-year-old woman. I think she was hiking. She got either dehydrated or hurt. They don't really exactly say, but some kind of injury.
I saw this video, dude. I mean, my dad is 72 or 73, and I
imagine.
Hey, man, this would be tough at 23.
Dude, she's pretty much an astronaut. This is astronaut training.
And if you're dehydrated already, ooh. You know,
it starts off light too. This is nothing.
I think the whole time you have to be thinking, "Oh, we're going down," right?
Yeah. We're almost there, right?
You know, this is more embarrassing for the for the Coast Guard or whoever the fuck this is than anyone else.
They should have set her down at this point.
No, you can't. Isn't there? There's a. Holy
Look at that,
shit,
at that
dog!
point. Like you're literally, it's astronaut training.
Is that because?
Look at that.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's the down. It's like the down.
It's the downdraft of that helicopter,
exactly.
and she's so light.
I don't know if she's so light. I think it just catches a certain way.
Oh my god! It's we're laughing, but is she all right after this?
She survived and everything, and I think she threw up all over herself. I think that's like what was.
Do you think that was all that time they were hovering there? Do you think that they were just having a discussion that whole time
of what do we?
What
do
the
now?
fuck do we do?
Yeah, exactly.
And then finally someone goes, "It's just happening. Just go."
But you also have to think like, is this harness like
secure,
designed to withstand this shit? Because it was spinning her one way, letting her
and then coming
unspin,
back.
spinning her up again.
Yeah, that'll snap eventually.
Right?
And how much of that can a 74-year-old lady take?
Yeah, exactly. She's a tough lady.
That's probably on her dime too. You usually have to pay for those hiking rescues.
Yeah, because she did some. That's like one thing that people aren't bringing up. Like, she's kind of an asshole. Like, if you're an old lady, you shouldn't be hiking in. I don't know. It looks like a wasteland.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe just go a quarter of a mile.
You shouldn't hike alone either.
You never. Even people like able-bodied people shouldn't hike alone.
Well, yeah. Especially at 74, you should not hike alone.
I don't know if you want to do this, but some NBA stuff.
I saw this.
How do you feel about Drake?
It is weird. I'm sort of, part of me sort of for it, part of me sort of against it.
Yeah. I've come around. I hated it, and now I'm kind of really into it.
I have to admit, it would be hard for me to not, if I were as famous as Drake, I would be at every World Series game
100%.
and every finals game courtside too. And I would also probably jump up and down and do shit like I do now, So I think I'm pretty animated now at games. No one has a camera on me,
Originally, I felt like, fuck Drake. Fuck this fucking attention whore. But then I saw Durant and...
It was Draymond and Steph who fought with Draymond. Got
No.
face.
This is after a game, and they're leaving. They're walking up the hallway, and it's Klay Thompson and Durant. And Durant's like, "You a bitch." This is after like the second game. I was like, "This is amazing. This is almost like professional wrestling at this point." Like, so I'm 100% for it. It made. Toronto is a boring fucking city, and as much as people want,
I love the story though. I want the Raptors to win so
you
bad.
do. I don't because of how much. It's almost like what we talked about before.
I love Paul.
It's like what we talked about before, which everyone wants to talk about how great fucking Canada is, and they're so multicultural. And look at all. I don't give a fuck about like you can do multicultural on not my sports time.
I like it because the Raptors are an expansion team with a shitty, stupid name. Like
The Raptors.
They only became the Raptors because Jurassic Park was a trend during the time the Raptors were created.
Which is the dumbest
So
idea.
just like the Anaheim Ducks, they're just a franchise that makes no sense. That's based on this old movie franchise.
Yeah, still better than the Pelicans, but still.
It's way better than Pelicans, but there's no reason why Toronto has Raptors unless they found them.
Maybe they do. They
The
might have found
Velociraptor
one.
is just the real Velociraptors are like this big, and they made them look big in movies, and it's just this bullshit.
I think there's a lot of different
Raptors were just it's like the word extreme. It was just this cool trendy thing.
Yeah,
so that to
exactly.
me is it's still funny to this day that there's a basketball team called the Raptors, and it's in Canada.
Yeah,
and they have they're purple. It just all makes no sense.
Yeah,
but I'm glad. I'm happy for them. Like, I'm happy for them that they're in the finals, that they finally got a good team together.
Finally, right? And
everyone thought Kawhi would die up there. Everyone thought he would just...
him, too. That's what messes with me, because I hate Golden State, and I wanted them to get beaten for so long. But just because of how everyone's, like, patting fucking Canada on its back, I'm fully into Golden State.
Do you know, though, about...
Durant's coming back.
Do you know how big of a Golden State fan Drake used to be, though? That's the thing I don't like. I
don't know that.
Drake was a big when the Raptors really were just not making the playoffs even.
That was his other team kind of thing.
He has a lyric, the Warriors practice at my house. He has the reason why he's wearing an armband to some of these games is because he has a Steph Curry and Kevin Durant tattoo on his arm. So he's covering that tattoo with an armband.
I hate him so much.
So
I hope someone puts him back in a wheelchair.
He's definitely friends with.
He went to dinner with Draymond Green a couple days ago.
Yeah, so he's definitely friends with the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
And they all want to go to the parties Drake has, whether or not he's.
Oh, yeah.
So I do think when Draymond's in his face and Drake's like, "You're trash,"
it's a little bit of wrestling.
It's more than a little bit, but it's.
I love it though.
But I do think Drake should be careful, with like. And I think he is careful. I think he's a wise man, but I think he should watch out with getting too into thinking he's actually a player. Like, because Draymond Green will level Drake.
Well, he also said something to Durant. He was like, "You ain't even playing." I'm like, "Fucking bitch, you ain't playing. Yeah, you don't play. Like, what are you talking about? You were in Degrassi 15 years ago. Shut the fuck up. Like, you ain't."
Yeah, and Drake. I think Durant, like, always has like that thing where he shits on Drake, and you can't tell if it's a joke or not.
Yeah,
you know?
I can't read Durant at all, to be honest. He has like a weird personality.
Yeah. He's a funny guy though. He one of the best episodes of Punk'd.
Oh really? I never seen.
He's one of those people who he comes off on Punk'd and you like him more. You're like, oh shit. And he was like he was scared shitless. He admitted it. He was like, my fucking armpits are sweaty.
Which you would in most of those like scenarios.
Some people come off terrible. I'm trying to think of.
Do you remember Timberlake? He cried.
That was the
worst one.
You know what though?
I feel bad.
I felt bad for him.
Yeah.
And he looked even before they started punking him. He looked exhausted and kind of like at.
He had said that he had eaten weed.
Oh really? Is that what it was?
Yeah. Which, if you view that whole thing through that lens, it makes so much more sense. He's like so upset.
We gonna talk about Paul Pierce shitting himself? Did you hear about that?
I did. That's pretty funny. That was his excuse.
He confirmed it.
Yeah.
If I were him, I gotta admit,
That's not what happened though. You don't really believe that. He was joking.
You think so?
Yeah, he was joking. I watched it. He was definitely joking.
I wonder.
He didn't shit himself. What happened was that used to be the protocol. They did it with Kobe. They did it with Reggie Miller. If someone got hurt, they brought that happened a bunch of times.
Yeah, I know, but that was the story all the time there that he needed to just go take a quick shit. Either way, I would have let the legend be like, I'm Willis Reed and I come back from injuries and save ball games.
Yeah, but it was obvious that's not what happened though.
Yeah.
Did you see this? I was gonna pull this up.
I did see this.
Beyonce with a serious side eye.
Yeah, she really. I wonder. You know, these are like the two sides of my personality, Jay-Z and Beyonce, right here. When I'm dealing with the public. Sometimes I'm Jay-Z, you know.
I'm not a big Beyonce fan, but I love her in this thing. I love this because this chick, the Golden State Warriors owner's woman.
Oh, is that who she is?
Yeah,
she's just yapping.
Well, no, she's a professional gold digger. Like Jay-Z was just announced to be a billionaire.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what's going on here more than anything. And he kind of seems to like really light skinned chicks. Her face.
Yeah, her face is a riot right there.
That's amazing to me. She's right though.
Yeah, she gives her a little like physical bump at the end.
Should have popped her in the face.
I always like to say this when I see them. I saw them on one of their when I worked at a gym at Chelsea Pier. Someone was like, Jay-Z and Beyonce are bowling at the bowling alley right now, and we all went down to watch them. They were on a date. Every time I see them, I'm like, they were on a date together. Now they're still doing cool shit together. I got fucking killed by a guy on Fortnite the other day called like Jake Paul Fan 1, and I was so mad. He like, got me. I was in 11th place. All I want to do is make the top 10, and this guy got me in 11th, and I was like, you're fucking.
So I think this is what I'm putting for our Just Shave It Bro, because I think it's better to like start predicting these things. There's some weird stuff going on under there.
You think he's going? He's got a good head of hair.
You think it's a good head of hair? I think it's real suspect. It's real Donald
Oh, I see what you're
Trumpy.
saying. It's getting a little bit
It's real like
comb over-ish.
yeah, it's very specifically grown.
Yeah, I'd like to see. Can we get a pic of Logan Paul's parents?
Oh, I like that idea.
Right?
Yeah. Let's do that.
Let's look at the ancestry here. Ooh, Sox tied 2-2 right now. Top of the third, one out. Come on up. Come on up, kitty cat. No.
Oh wow. He looks like he has something seriously wrong with him.
Come here. Oh,
So it's happening.
it's happening. That's what the Pauls will look like.
Jesus.
Wow, he just looks like them.
He looks like if Opie went on like a serious bender. Like he looks.
Yeah. Does. Well, yeah, I think Jake Paul might be.
I don't know.
They're the type of guys to dump like 60.
Oh yeah.
60K into hair.
Or like in like 4 or 5 years, he'll be on like the new Oprah show where he has no scalp because he had like some experimental thing that just decomposes his head.
He'll be on like Jada.
Or-
I'm thinking, what's her name has?
Or botched. Like trying to fix his scalp.
Oh, I just got my new bowling balls on the way. I ordered a new bowling ball.
Same weight or different weight?
Lower weight. Oh, we got it clipped. Zach Wynn clipped us. Solid hiking advice. Like, when we finally. Oh, we got an answer. Oh, never mind.
Never
Oh, look at
mind.
that, Polly. Clip on the clip.
Look at us.
Look at this. Show's finally.
It's about time.
Thanks, Zach. Zach's great, by the way.
Zach has you can almost find like the most interesting things from his Twitter every once in a while.
Yeah, no, he's
pops
practically you know.
He needs to produce his own show.
I was gonna say, yeah.
He needs to find like
Yeah, he's practically because he's like a researcher. I would
know.
say
It's
you can
much
find
more
things
than
so
I do.
quickly. That's cool, man. Show looks good. Irish woman who married a
Oh, do you wanna
pirate
do
ghost.
this? Okay. This is a little silly, but basically she married the ghost because the ghost was attacking her for quite a bit. She had some issues. The ghost was raping her. It's a Haitian pirate ghost.
And it was raping her.
It was raping her. She had, and as she had more and more sexual contact, more and more of her life energy was drained.
Oh wow, what a fucking nut job, huh?
Yeah,
Jesus. Wow.
it's like a Boston 7.
Wow. She was a Jack Sparrow impersonator. What
Yeah,
a
she already had.
coincidence.
Yeah, exactly.
That a pirate ghost fucked her. Yeah, so I think he's a Just Shave It Bro candidate, Logan Paul.
I think so. I think he's got something working there.
Yeah. We'll put him on the radar.
We're gonna watch him.
Yeah.
She might be too, though. Look at this.
Oh my God. Yeah, she could work at
borderline.
Joseph's Bakery.
I like that little widow's peak, though.
I like the tattoos.
Yeah, this lady's a savage.
I bet she gives a tight hand job, like a grippy, tight handy, where it hurts a little bit, but you don't dare say so.
Yeah. Oh fuck yeah. Fuck.
How many times have
You're
you
like,
just?
"Arr."
How many times have you just like closed your eyes and gritted your way through a violent hand job? Women sometimes just
I don't think they understand how dicks work. Really,
David Tell used to
when we
have
really
a joke.
break it down.
They go one way or the other. They either like squeeze it like it's fucking nothing and yank on it, or they just like lightly touch it and don't do anything at all.
Yeah.
But David Tell has a joke. He's like, some of you ladies are pulling way too hard. It's like you're trying to pull a better looking guy out of me. Wow.
You want to do your scratch ticket?
Yeah, we'll do a scratch ticket and wrap it up. Wrap it up. I guess still got some business to do.
Fun business or not fun business?
Not really. Just I have to
Business
sign
business?
some documents and send them in. for some upcoming shows.
That's
this,
fun, though.
This one's like not till October.
That must feel weird.
I'm already in. I live like that. It kind of sucks. It kind of makes you always feel like you're just never catching up to this thing.
It feels like you're never working enough, right? It
just makes you always go. It just, you know how there's that feeling sometimes where you have like a to-do list and you're checking things off and it feels good, but it's just kind of a feeling of. I remember Tom Papa.
I love Tom Papa.
Who I love as well. Opened for him, and he's like, you almost can't like. You can't just look at all your dates at once. It'll just make you panic.
It's a good point.
You just have to look at it.
Because then you start doing the math. Like, that's 20 dates in.
Yeah, it's too much for
11 days.
You start thinking about. I'm gonna have to do fucking 25 shows. You know, you're just.
You're like, I don't have that.
You start thinking, yeah. What if something happened? There's a lot of time. I've kind of taught myself. This has been my focus this year. I've taught myself how to not think about things.
You have. I've noticed that too. You've done a good job at that too.
Yeah.
Like just really more enjoying the moment too.
Yeah.
I realized that from you.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
I've been trying to do more.
Finally
of that.
got it from.
Yeah. That's where I want to get.
Meditation and reading my Bible of.
Because I always feel like that. I always feel like I get to a point and
Rinpoche.
I'm like, wow, I wish I appreciated that point before. where I was just like super panicked before. But
No,
like
it's true.
If I could have just realized.
I watched the clip you put up from the show where I was talking about Florida.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm actually really happy that I did that night. That I went out there and did
100%.
that.
Yeah.
And I knew that it would be worth something. And it's true though, man. But I was watching that. Remember that documentary, Making a Murderer, that was so popular?
Yeah.
There was a point in that where the
Still think he's guilty.
Oh yeah. There was a point in that where one of his lawyers was driving from like one office to another and just in the middle of working that case, and he was driving. He was like, this case, he's like, it's so messed up in so many ways. He's like, just Stephen Avery will drive you insane if you start trying to think about all the different things. He's like, and then if you think about Brandon Avery, who's just this innocent kid who's wrapped up in all of it, he's like, if you start thinking about the injustice of that, it's just too much to even think about. And I remember at the time going, well, fuck you, dick. Like, I bet he would like you to think about it because he's the one sitting in jail and da-da-da. Like, maybe you should think about it. But then I realized
it's just so much.
He can't help Avery at all. If he looks at this whole thing and how fucked, you can't look at a forest fire like, I got to put out this forest fire right now at once. Yeah. You have to just pick a spot, start, and whether you die doing it or whether it puts out the fire, you got to do it. And I think about that moment from that documentary a lot because I remember thinking at that time, that guy's wrong. And then going, well, Will, he's a genius fucking lawyer and you're a guy watching a documentary about him. So maybe you're wrong. Maybe you should try.
Maybe think about this for 2 seconds.
Yeah. Maybe you should start trying to think like this guy instead of thinking the way you think. So I was like, maybe that's true. So then I kind of started to be like, and with meditation, you can do that and be like, look at your thoughts more as what they are, which are just things you can choose to engage in or not engage in. And
it's a great point.
Let them pass you or let them not pass you or put it to the side for a while. Like, all that different stuff is possible,
you know? Definitely a good point.
So, and I do think I'm better for it, you know?
Well, I've noticed it. You seem, not that you were like pent up before, but you seem better.
Oh, thanks, Paulie.
You seem better.
I'm doing a little bit better. We didn't win on this fucking scratch ticket. 15, 14. And you know, a lot of that is the love of a good woman. My
that's a good point.
My girlfriend, keeps me.
That's a very good point. It's pretty much right around that same time that I'm noticing these things. So
yeah, but I was really like, when I met her, I was really in like, I remember being in like a very zen,
full stride.
Yeah,
like you're doing. Yeah.
I'd like been on like 20 dates the month like in the month before I met her.
Oh wow.
So I remember being like talking about the beginning of the podcast, talking about not
And
being
someone
afraid.
set you. Oh, no, I shouldn't say that. But
What?
you didn't meet her through Tinder. Someone set you up.
No, I met her at
Or at a show
At a
or
show.
something, right? Yeah.
She told another comedian,
That's such
I
a
saw
better
this
way.
guy 7 months ago.
That's such a better way.
Oh, it was unbelievable. Well, we hit it off. We met each other, and it was like,
Yeah.
we talked to each other then that night, like we talk to each other now. It was just like
That's crazy.
instantaneous,
That's cool.
like perfect chemistry. So I was just kind of like, don't be a dummy, dude. Just follow this.
Yeah.
You know, don't doubt it. Don't question it.
That's interesting, though. Do you think if you weren't doing so well mentally, that you would
I
have
honestly,
been there?
dude, that whole night is so weird. So many things happened that to have me meet her that were random, and she went to another bar first, and it was crowded, and she went to this bar she had never gone to. I was doing this show I was thinking about maybe not even doing it because it was kind of like a junky Thursday night bar show.
Yeah. But you decided to.
And I was like, fuck it, I got some shit I want to work out. And she was like, I'd seen this guy before, but she didn't know she had. And she was waiting for this one joke that would clue her in. And I did it. And I like never do that joke. It's like a joke I rarely do. And
that's a nice little story.
she told,
We're going to write this for Hallmark.
it gets even crazier. She met this dude. I never told this story, but she met this guy. She went on a Tinder date with this dude. And they went to a comedy show, and I was the headliner. I closed it. She dates that guy for 7 months.
Oh, wow.
And it just, that's the period of time where if you're not hitting it off with someone,
You're deciding at that point.
Yeah, so
you might
she-
even let it go a little too long at that point.
that's
You're
what she
like,
said. She said it was really like the last
Yeah.
month of it. They hadn't been hanging out. She was kind of,
Yeah.
she was over it. So she goes over to the guy's house and breaks up with them. But then when she breaks up with him, he's kind of like, all right, like, no big, like, whatever. So then she's kind of like, geez, like, I'm that easy to, or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
She's not heartbroken or anything, but she still goes home and she's in kind of like
It's like, that's a little weird.
kind of a weird headspace.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
So her roommate goes,
let's go out.
let's go out, have a couple drinks. Like, you end a
Yeah.
relationship, that's what you do. So they go out
Yeah.
in Alston. They go to this, I think it was like 2 places they went by. They went to the place they always go. It was packed. They went to another place, that what kind of crowd. They go, let's just go to this place. So they go there, and they're sitting there, and then they start setting up for a comedy show. And I guess I walk in, and I'm like watching the Red Sox game or something.
Doing your Noonan thing.
You do my noon thing, and my girlfriend goes, my now girlfriend goes, I think I've seen that dude the night I went on my first date with this guy that I just broke up with. What are the chances
That's so weird.
that I would see him? So she's like, I gotta stay for his act to see if it's
You
the
have
same
to at
guy,
that point,
see if he
right?
does the. It was a joke about Dunkin' Donuts, like this specific thing about drugs, Dunkin' Donuts. So she goes, she hears me do that joke.
So she knows.
Then she knows it's me, and she's kind of like buzzed at this point.
So that's
So I
probably
start
blowing
doing-
her mind, though, too.
It's blowing
'Cause
her
now she's
mind.
like 100%.
Now she's 100%. That's
amazing.
I met this guy. I saw this guy the night
love
I
this story.
started this relationship, and I'm seeing him the night it ends.
That's
right?
gotta trigger something.
So
in
she
your
goes,
fucking head.
wow, that's crazy, right? So then I have this set recorded. So I have a bit about tattoos, and she's like, I go, some tattoos are so sad they signify dead parents, and she just goes, Jesus Christ, from the back of the room. Because this is another coincidence, because she has a tattoo that signifies a dead parent.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I do crowd work with her. This is our first conversation.
That's weird.
She's like, she's at the back though, and I know, I'm like, that chick is cute, and I can just tell from here she's blonde, blue eye, like,
Yeah.
da-da-da. But I'm like, whatever. I'm just doing friendly crowd work with
All
her.
your DNA is like.
And I'm just kind of like, whatever. So then I do my shit. It was like a good set. It was all fun.
Yeah.
Show ends, and I'm sort of looking at my notes or whatever, and another comedian comes up to me, and apparently he had gone over and hit on her.
Oh, wow.
And she's like, da. She goes, actually, funny story. I saw that. I just broke up with a guy today. I saw that other comedian like the night I met him, and I also saw him tonight. The night.
So what was he like?
So
he was
he
like, of course I'll fucking introduce
So
you.
he goes,
right?
this guy, he goes, it was Tilson and Emmett kind of together who made this happen. Tilson was the one who like hit on her, and they were two girls, so they both went over.
Yeah.
And Emmett goes, who's a bro? Emmett's a bro right here. He goes, I bet Will would love to hear that story.
Oh, shit.
Let me go tell him, you know? I bet he would love that
That's
story.
a good dude right there.
So he comes over and he goes, Will, like, this fucking hot chick, like, she says she saw you.
She has some crazy story.
She has this crazy story about seeing you and blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, let's go over. So I go over and she tells me, and I think I was smooth in this. I was kind of smooth in this moment. She tells me a story. And I go, well, I think that's fate. I think we have to go on a date like right now. It's only 10 o'clock.
You're not usually that forceful at all.
No, man. And I had a white tee, ripped jeans, like my shittiest clothing.
So you really were very sound of mind and doing some good mental shit.
I just go like, what's hang? You know, we talked for like 5 minutes, but right away I'm like, we should.
You knew, yeah.
She's like just my type, you know. I was sold like on
she's
her
pretty,
looks.
She's smart. So like,
yeah.
So immediately you
runner.
Yeah, but you don't know that immediately.
No, but
yeah.
But she anyway, so she's like, yeah. I go, let's go on a date right now. She's like, okay. And her roommate gives me I give her roommate my phone number. I'm like, you can call me, like call her. I was like, here's my name. Yeah. Like if any, you know, check in on us. Yeah. And I'm not a total stranger. I also had radio the next morning at like 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 103.3 amp radio the next morning. So here's something.
You don't usually want to push it too late.
I'm just like, fuck it, living my life, right? Yeah. Living in the moment. So we went out, we went for like a 10, 15 minute walk around Austin, and we're just like chatting like old friends who had known each other for a million years, falling in love like in that 15 minutes. We go to the Gas, Great Scott, where I recorded my first album. We sit at the bar there. She has a beer. I have like an old Duels. And then we have our first kiss there. Wow. And then ever since then we've been together.
It's very nice.
What's crazy, even crazier about it, the cherry on top of the whole story is, since I had just gotten off stage, I just had and I walked right over. I was carrying, and I sat down next to her, and I put my phone down. My audio recorder from my set was still going the entire time, and I have our entire first meeting on.
That's crazy.
High quality audio. I have it on Google Drive, so I sent it to her like halfway through like our 4-month relationship or so. I sent it to her in like a MP4, MP3. I was like, you can listen to this. We can both listen to it anytime we want. And so that's the story.
I like that.
Not like a romantic story.
It's like a legitimate TV show story.
Because we were just two strangers, man. Like
ships in the night.
And we totally and the guys, Tilson was there. I remember Tilson saying it. He was like, geez, I don't think I've ever seen two people have chemistry like this.
That's crazy.
Like we were just like pop, 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 pop.
It's a real thing.
It happens, that saying of,
I think you can be happy with a lot of people, but I think there is like I'm not saying like a single person match, but very
personality matches.
Very much. Yeah.
And when it happens, sometimes it's just, especially since I had been on all these dates where you're spending hours trying to kind of decide, do I like this person? I want to spend time. And you're really on the fence. All of a sudden I'm having like this, it was just like when two Legos are like clicked perfectly together, You're just like, holy shit, like it was just a snap,
Yeah. So then it makes, so that's interesting. I don't know if you want to answer this, but does that mean like all the Tinder stuff was almost beneficial in a weird way?
Oh yeah, no, I've said that. I think Tinder for me, I mean, this is sort of funny. It's the way I live my life, right? It's like I go to open mics, I go to bar shows, and then I do my shit on the weekend. Yeah. I run 5 miles, I run 10, then I do a half marathon. It was like I was on Tinder, I'm doing this shit, and then I finally I had the opportunity, and I was prepared for it.
Yeah, because you noticed that it wasn't a chore. All these things were clicking. Yeah. And if you hadn't done all those other things where it was a chore and it wasn't clicking, you wouldn't even have known.
I wouldn't have even known. Crazy. I might not have had the confidence.
That's so interesting.
Isn't that it is, right? So it's kind of, and especially since at that time I was becoming it was like my gimmick. Like I had just been in an article about Tinder.
Oh yeah.
I had written a piece for
You
the
were
Big
relationship.
Boston about Tinder.
You were relationship Noonan. People were asking you.
Yeah, I was doing all kinds of like talk shows, podcasts about that. I was disliking it. I was like, man, this is kind of like a sorry ass gimmick to be getting, you know?
So it's not you.
Oh yeah, so we stayed up all night, and then I went on radio the next morning, and I said, I was in there, I was like, guys, I haven't even slept. I was like, I was with the girl I met at my show all night, and they were like, oh man, look at you, like pimping, life on the road. And I was like, nah, man, I was like, I actually really like this girl. I was like, she's really
crazy.
cool. I remember
you have to get that clip.
saying that. I know, I gotta get that, dude.
You have to.
And but I still think, like, you know, I'm gonna get a guy. I want to get someone to animate the conversation.
Yeah.
Like, but it's just crazy. You can see me smiling, just even
making me smile. That was a nice story.
It's a good story, right? Clip it,
that.
motherfucker.
I'm definitely gonna clip that.
That's a good way to end the show.
It is. Do you have anything before we go? Do you
Be in Fall River Saturday night. You can find that. It's on I got stuff on my website, but I got some sporadic ass shows. I guess the big ones people have been talking to me about lately are South Shore Music Circus and the Melody Tent, which are both in July. So check those out.
All right, that would be awesome too.
Yeah, those would be cool. Looking forward to those. Those are like when I just hang out in the back with like fucking Boston Comedy's like best.
Burning Bridges and Kumia next week.
Oh yeah, and that too. Next week I'll do
12th.
12th, Wednesday.
All right, look at me knowing you're still.
Yeah, thank you, Paul.
All right, see you then. Maybe we'll try to do a show before that.
Yeah, or we could do one
right after it. I think that seems smarter.
We could do one. I was gonna try and spend a bunch of days down there, but now I have more and more shit coming up.
All
so
right, yeah.
I might just do the one day, and then we can just do Thursday.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Bloop.
Peace.